program. So I belong to that era.
Today we are fortunate to have with us Dr. Srivari Chandrasekhar, Secretary, Department of Science and Technology, Government of India. First of all, welcome to Japan and hope you are enjoying the culture here along with the main mission around science and technology. My name is Prem Keswani, part of diaspora, working here in IT healthcare consulting for past 18 years and fortunate to be allowed to introduce you and facilitate discussion with you on behalf of Indian community in Japan. First, allow me to introduce yourself and we can dive into the questions then. Dr. Srivari Chandrasekhar, the former director of Indian Institute of Chemical Technology, is a renowned synthetic organic chemist and has made significant contributions in diverse areas of organic chemistry with special emphasis on chiral chemistry, total synthesis of biologically active nature products and pharmaceutical products. In short, making healthcare more affordable, accessible to all with specific achievements in indications like tuberculosis and tumors. Born in 1964, Dr. Chandrashekhar completed his primary and higher education in Hyderabad and joined CSIR IICT for PhD program. After completing his PhD, he moved to USA for a postdoctoral position. He joined CSIR IICT as Scientist C in 1994. He has more than 285 publications, 19 patents under his name with 7,600 citations and 80 students have completed PhD under him. Dr. Chandrasekhar is fellow of all three major science academies of India. He has been bestowed with various national and international accolades. This is just a glimpse of his major achievements. I'll share a link below the video if you want to explore more in detail about his profile. On behalf of Indian diaspora in Japan, we welcome you again. Now let's jump into the question. The way we have structured this interview is, first we want to know about your role and mission, past focus with Japan, and then looking ahead in the future.
Yeah.
So let's begin with the questions. So Dr. Chandrasekhar, first please walk us through your role and mission in SDT.
Thank you for inviting us for this Indian diaspora meeting. Greetings to all my Indian friends who are hosting us today. While we are all of the opinion that Japan has been a very natural partner to India for many years now, and this friendship has grown much larger after Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji has taken over at the India as Prime Minister, and we strongly believe that Japan and India collaboration and partnership is going to make India a world leader, and Japan has been a very trustworthy friend for India for a long time. After I took charge as Secretary DST, the major mandate has been how we build our networks with international partners, and when we make the top 5 countries with which India should build a relation, Japan will be of the top position, while other countries also are playing a very important role. And I do believe that the Indo-Japanese Association in Science and Technology would make the world a sustainable planet.
So let me move to the next question about what has been happening in the area of science and technology development between India and Japan in the past, and what were the greatest results from the past you want to highlight?
Honestly, when we look at Japan as a country, we believe that the research ecosystem and education are of the highest order, and we would like to emulate some of those good practices in Indian research system. One, of course, has been a very committed research workforce in Japan, and we all know that Japanese are the most hard-working community, where for them the profession is of top priority. And we do believe that if we expose our young students, young school children to the Japanese culture and make sure that they interact with the researchers and school colleagues here, we would certainly inculcate that into our ecosystem. So with this intention, DST and Japan have been working very closely for the last several years, and I'm very happy to inform all of you that over 3,000 Indian students have visited Japan on short-term programs and visited many important laboratories in Japan, and when they go back, their aptitude towards science has changed. So we would like to expand this program in such a way that more and more young students would start coming from India to Japan, and certainly that would be a big achievement for India.
what is the current focus with Japan?
Honestly, when we look at the current technologies which are prevailing across the world, and we are also aspiring to be the world leader in 2047 when India becomes 100 years of independence. We have always shown to the world the progress of India and also how India has been helping other countries in technology and knowledge sharing. We have seen how the vaccine Maitri has helped many countries in fast dispersal of the vaccines to the world, which has of course shown to the world the power of India in the emergency healthcare system. But I'm also very happy to mention that as we progress towards 2047, from 75 years of Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, which Honorable Prime Minister calls the Amrit Kal for us, the next 25 years, we do believe that India would be a tall country and getting the role as a Vishwaguru which Prime Minister preaches to the world. So I'm very confident that what Prime Minister tells is going to happen by 2047, and to happen that we need to partner with all these countries very closely and see that we all grow together. And with this pretext, DST has been engaging Japan in many programs, and very recently Government of India has given two major missions to Department of Science and Technology. One is cyber physical systems, where we build a lot of cyber physical systems for the planet, but we are also working on quantum computers, which are going to be the future technologies for cyber security, and we do believe Japan is a natural partner. And today's interaction with some of the institutes like Kyoto University and Tokyo University, we realize that the IIT ecosystem of India and national laboratories are working so closely with the Japanese system. We are sure between these two countries, we build the best platforms in cyber physical systems and quantum computers.
How do you see future collaborations between India and Japan in this area of science and technology?
All of us, at least Japan and India, are seriously committed for the net zero. And I'm told Japan has committed to be net zero by 2050 and India has committed to be a net zero by 2070, because India has to travel much longer to catch up with the developed world, while we are a fast developing nation and we are caught up on many fronts. And we have seen recently that India has surpassed UK and became the 5th largest economy in the world, and we all know that by 2030 India will become the top 3 economies. So while you are racing to build the economy and employment, certainly industrialization plays an important role, and we want to make sure that whatever commitments we made for this planet, for a sustainable planet, that by 2070 India becomes net zero and Japan is 2050 commitment. So both of us should work very closely and see how we use the both fossil energy and the non-fossil energy, and how we really transform the solar, wind, nuclear power and all that to replace the fossil energy. And in this sector, I'm sure India and Japan will play a major role, and DST will certainly work with Japan very closely.
I'm sure there might be some hurdles and challenges, but also some drivers which can make this happen.
Certainly for any economic push, certainly we would get some hurdles in the form of technology upgradation, and certainly these international collaborations will make sure that we get the best technologies. Also, as Honorable Prime Minister has been advocating to all of us on the importance of the Indian diaspora across the world, and I'm so pleasantly surprised. I always thought that Indian diaspora is very strong in the English-speaking countries like US and England, but I'm surprised that the Indian diaspora in Japan is much stronger, and I compliment all my Indian friends who came to Japan 2 decades ago, 3 decades ago, when technology was not there, communications were not there, mobile phones were not there, internet was not there, but they learned the language, they embraced themselves into the Japanese culture and shared Indian culture to Japanese, which is so close, the way we worship, the way, the discipline of the family and all. I think Indian diaspora in Japan, I really hats off to all of them. And I'm sure this diaspora is going to connect to Indian industry, Indian technologies, Indian academic institutes, and see that the real growth in India happen through their interventions.
Thank you. How do you want Indian scientists, researchers, engineers, entrepreneurs, venture capitalists living in Japan to focus and support to India in this venture?
I think this is a very pertinent question for India. And again, as I would like to refer, India wants to be a very strong manufacturing country for the world, and also make sure that the lot of employment is created in the manufacturing sector, for which new technologies and new industries have to come to India. While Indian industry and the ecosystem of the government of India is pushing the production linked incentives which are created by the government of India, are encouraging the industry to manufacture in India. We do believe that companies like Apple and Google already are making their world hubs in India. But now if our Indian diaspora, who are leading many industries in Japan or in academic setup, if they can really bring the best of the best to India and make sure that Indian technologies or the products which are required for the world are made in India, and truly make in India concept will happen positively. And also when you look at the investments, Government of India is pushing Startup India very aggressively, and there are so many thousands of startups which have come up in the last 8 years after Honorable Prime Minister has taken charge at the helm of affairs in the country. So we do believe that this Startup India culture needs new investments, also new brains who will give new ideas to these young minds. So I do believe that the exposure of our Indian diaspora in Japan can handhold some of these startups through small investments, while Government of India is giving soft loans and investments into these startups through technology business incubators and many other programs. I'm sure handholding of these startups by international friends like all of you would certainly see that these companies flourish faster. I'm also happy to share with our Indian friends here that India has already made over 100 unicorns in the last 5 years in such short span, and we do believe that next 5 years, with the support from diaspora, who knows, we will have 500 unicorns, and I'm sure that all of you play an important role.
Thank you. Thank you, Chandrasekhar. Last question. Anything you want to convey to Indian community in Japan?
I know the COVID pandemic has put all of you away from India for 2.5 years, and I also, while I'm talking to some of the Indian friends, still they have some fear of travel. I assure you that I've been traveling for the last 6 months, and I think you should travel freely and reconnect yourself to India and travel more often to your hometowns. And also my humble request is, I'm sure you have some still connects to your villages where you were born and small towns where you come from, and if you could do small activities even in villages, Government of India and our ministry will be happy to partner with you. See that the village from where you are born and brought name and laurel to the country, we will make sure that your village also will smile at the success you have taken.
So Dr. Chandrasekhar, thank you very much for talking to Indian community in Japan.
Thank you so much.